I have the best job in the entire world. Make sure this is center. Is that center? This better be center. I think that's center. So I thought this was an aesthetic shot until I noticed that my camera bag can be seen in the background. Typical Luke. Hey guys, how's it going? So I'm currently in Jervis Bay of New South Wales. I'm here filming a wedding and I drove all the way up from Geelong. It's about a 9-10 hour drive. And in that time, naturally, because it's such a long trek, I was able to really go deep into thought about certain topics. As you would expect, driving around for 9 hours straight, your mind kind of goes blip, bloop, blip, bloop, blip, bloop, especially when you got ADHD, but that's a whole nother topic. Anyway, we're about to get deep real quick. We're about to get really profound, but hang on tight. So the thing that I realized is that, as humans, we tend to have this really empowering hunger. We're always in a constant desire for something new, something else, and something more. And I've realized that in myself because I remember when I was like 7 years old, I wanted to be so many different things. I wanted to be a film director. I wanted to be a scientist. I'm pretty sure I wanted to be a fire engine at some point. Probably because, again, ADHD. I want to be all these different things at once. But eventually when my brain settled down and I could decide what I wanted to be, which was, something to do with filmmaking, I realized something because I'm currently living what my 10-year-old self would classify my dream job. And that's something I don't realize often enough. I am in such an incredible position right now, such a beautiful, incredible position that I can take for granted sometimes. And I do take it for granted because I realize that I'm literally living my 10-year-old dream of doing filmmaking for a living. I remember I was actually at work. I used to work at Domino's. It would have been 2015 or 2016, I was still kind of getting into media, but it wasn't like a massive kind of career direction I was taking. But I remember sitting in my car and I just pondered on the idea. I'm like, imagine doing videos for people and getting paid for it. And I remember laughing. I was taking a delivery while driving, taking a delivery for Domino's. And that thought came in my head. I just laughed and I'm like, that'll probably never happen or it'll take years and it's too late for me kind of thing. And now I'm sitting here at this beautiful cottage in Jervis Bay because I got asked to do a wedding in a completely different state to where I live, and that's really insane. And I just clocked how insane that is and how beautiful it is that I get to do this for a living. I get to go to different places. I get to travel all around and film these incredible events. And weddings are beautiful, man. It's a celebration of love and it's nothing but happy vibes. Actually, no, it's not true. It's not always happy vibes because sometimes the bride gets a little stressed on the wedding morning, but besides that, it's incredibly beautiful and it's a celebration of love. The reason I wanted to talk about it is because as humans, we have this constant desire to do more, to be more, to the point where sometimes we actually forget about where we're at right now. What I'm doing right now is what my 10-year-old self has always wanted to do. And I've reached it. I'm here, I've accomplished it. But it's just so interesting to me because even where I'm at right now, I just have so many other things that aren't even close to the level I'm at right now, which I want to accomplish. You hear about people talk about the inner child and, doing what your inner child wants you to do because that's what your true desires are. Your inner child is your inner self being like, I want to do this, I want to do this. And you have to listen to that voice because that's your authentic self. We tend to close our inner child when we grow up, particularly when we get into teenagehood and get into late high school when, the society tells you, you have to study hard for this, you have to study hard for that. Says who? If you know what you want to do, then you should follow that. If you want to become a scientist, study hard. If you want to become a nurse, study hard. If you want to be a creative, study less hard. Study less hard and put your effort into creating art that speaks true to you. We're told when we're 15, when we're 16 to focus on school. I stopped doing athletics. I loved athletics. I stopped doing athletics because I felt an obligation to completely hone in on my studies. But that was in a place where I didn't know what I wanted to do. But at the time, my inner child wanted to be an Olympian. That was one of my other dreams when I was younger. But I completely crushed that for myself because I decided to conform and study, and that's what I'm really wanting to share with you guys because We allow ourselves to fall into this trap to do what other people want us to do without even realizing. I worked in the public service for about a year last year, and an opportunity came up for me to work full time, and I remember I didn't even apply for it. I didn't, and it was an incredible opportunity. It was like a full-time APS 6 position or APS 5, one of those. And I didn't even apply, and I remember my colleagues being like, "Are you stupid? Like, apply. That's like, you're what?" And I just found that really interesting for me, because it's like, I know my inner child deep down in my bones, I don't want to be doing that for the rest of my life. So why the hell would I start now and do that, regardless of the financial support it could give me, even if I was only there for a year? It's like, my goals don't revolve around money. My goals revolve around filling that inner child's needs. And right now, my inner child's needs is to be doing exactly what I'm doing, to create stories, to elevate stories, to give people a voice through filmmaking. Life is so crazy. Life is so crazy. Life is crazy. Life is crazy. Life is so insane. Actually, I just realized something. I want to switch the view, because the view this way is just as good as the view this way. So I'm gonna switch the camera real quick. Look where I am. How blessed am I to be here? And that's something I need to keep reminding myself. And it's so important to remind myself, because, you know, there are moments where I do question what I'm doing, only because there's elements of it that don't necessarily align with me anymore. There have been a lot of changes recently in my life. Something that I've realized is, while I love the freelancing, and it has given me this beautiful dream to create stories and film videos for a living, there is a limit to the amount of freedom that you have. And the limit is the fact that I'm telling a lot of stories that I might not necessarily want to be telling. And something that I've realized recently is that I've been very money focused for the past couple years. Naturally, because, you know, when you're freelancing full time, you have to be thinking about your finances. You have to be trying to meet ends meet. You have to be charging clients properly. And a lot of the time, like, I have to drop a lot of creative projects that I want to be doing, because I need to be doing these corporate projects or these other projects that actually, you know, pay the bills. And I've actually decided recently that that's not how I want to live anymore. There truly is something beautiful about, you know, looking back and thinking about how your younger self would feel if he saw you right now. And my God, would he be happy? He would be so happy. Just through everything I've been kind of feeling and experiencing recently, I've realized that happiness doesn't come from achieving things. It really doesn't. Because I've achieved one of my childhood dreams of doing filmmaking for a living. Like, I'm living that dream at 22, but I don't draw happiness straight from that, because at the moment I'm in a spot where there's actually other things I want to be doing. There's a boat sailing past me, so I'm just gonna awkwardly stare into the camera and act as if it's not coming and it's not behind me, because otherwise that's people interaction that I don't want to have. Okay, boat, you can leave now. Goodbye. Okay. I can't stop smiling. I can't. The reason I can't stop smiling is because I just keep thinking of the image of my 5-year-old self or my 7-year-old self looking at me right now. And that little boy, he's very happy, because not only has he grown up to create these beautiful stories, he gets to travel to all these beautiful locations. Like, the cottage that I'm at now is gorgeous. He gets to film incredible moments, people celebrating love. He gets to go to really cool events. He gets to go to ceremonies. He gets to film music videos. He gets to do all of this. He gets to travel. I keep saying travel because travel is such a big part of, like, why I love what I'm doing. And he's just smiling. He is so happy because you're doing exactly what he would want to be doing. And what tends to happen when we're in these places, when our inner child would be happy to see where we are, we tend to completely neglect the work and the beautiful hard decisions we've had to make to get ourselves to where we are. We neglect that sometimes because the world tells you to, you know, count your blessings, like, you know, be humble and all that stuff. And, you know, being humble is obviously very important because you never want to be ungrateful for the things around you. But my God, should you celebrate the things that you have done to get to where you are. I have made countless sacrifices to get myself here. And, you know, for the past 2 years, like during 2020 and 2021, like I was completely just neglecting the work that I've been putting in. I was surrounded by people who had it tough. They had it really tough. You know, whether it was mental health or chronic pain or depression and anxiety or family members passing, like everyone has their shit. Everyone goes through shit. And I let that make me feel like I was just gifted where I'm at. But I have to keep reminding myself that I was not gifted this. I was gifted with the ability to tell people's stories and to give people a voice through filmmaking. But in terms of where I'm at right now, I did the work to get here. I had to make some really tough decisions, I've had to do a lot of this stuff through a bunch of trauma that I was experiencing and, you know, mental health that I was experiencing. And the thing we need to stop doing as human beings is write off our hard work because of other people's demise, because of what other people have been through. Oh, it's great that you've accomplished those things, but you're a white man who is healthy. Yeah, okay, I'm extremely blessed. I'm extremely blessed. And I have said this countless of times to people. I am so blessed to be in this body that I'm in, to have grown up with such a supportive family, to have friends around me who support me. But I'm not gonna sit here and write off all the hard work that I've done because, my gosh, there's been a lot of it. Speaking of hard decisions, there are some really big changes coming because, you know, whenever we set out to accomplish something in life, it's always going to be met with some hard decisions, some turmoil, some crying, some breakdowns, but then eventually clarity and peace and a new beginning where we can be happy that we're on the right path, enjoying the best life we possibly can. But with all that being said, the harsh reality of chasing your dreams is you have to make some really tough decisions that will either make you or break you.
I feel like I'm gonna throw up, to be honest. I'm on the verge of a panic attack.
It's okay. It's okay.
She's probably got it 2 weeks to a month.
If I had money, it wouldn't be such a problem. I will have to drop everything and just be with him. This means I'll have to drop my freelancing business. Just focus on this. 24 hours, man.